My full name is Cynthia Wambui Karoga. Married name is Cynthia Wambui Otieno. What I do is I'm a marriage and a relationship coach, published author, woman-to-woman mentor, a pastor, and born in July 23rd, 1974 in a Mater Hospital, brought up in Utawala area in Embakasi. I grew up with a present father and a present mother. They were both working parents, both working in the CBD. So it was very interesting growing up with parents who have an 8 to 5 job. I have 4 siblings. My 4 siblings are, I have an elder brother, an elder sister, and then I have a sister that follows me 5 years after me. We were a very close-knit family. We grew up in community. Just like the typical African society, we grew up in community where we had my grandfather, my grandmother as our neighbors, my aunties and my uncles, all in Utawala. We had the opportunity to have different aunties, different uncles speak into our lives. I guess maybe the negative side of it is that when there's conflict is real. Conflict would really happen. I remember growing up in State House Road Nursery School. It was in the 70s, the late 70s. In 81, I was registered under Nairobi South B Primary School, which is in Makadara County, I believe. Makadara, not county, it's in Nairobi County, but it's in Makadara, yeah. I was there from grade 1 to grade 7 and managed to get a different school, a Catholic private school, Loreto Convent Valley Road. It's in Valley Road near town, and so that's where I went to school for my class 8, and then immediately after class 8 we were all taken into Form 1 to Form 4, again Loreto Convent Valley Road. That's where I did my O-levels. After completing my O-levels in Loreto Convent, I quickly went into a pre-university course in Strathmore for I think it was 6 months to a year, where we did the computer packages for a couple of months. Very exciting for a young woman. Completed that, then we went into teacher training, did my teacher training course for 2 years, taught for 2 years, and then I went to college in the United States of America, and I went to Ohio Dominican College, and that's where I did my college. Or my schooling, where I did my bachelor's in education, special education actually. It took a while to meet somebody. I met somebody when I was close to 35. I met him in a conference, not a women's conference, a Kenyan conference, because then I was still living in the United States. I met Donald Otieno in the United States. He was living in New Jersey, I was living in Ohio, a state that is about 9 hours. If you do drive time, it's a 9-hour drive from Ohio to New Jersey. I would say it was love at first sight. And when we met, we only had one date, and after that one date, Don asked me to marry him, and of course I said yes. We relocated from the United States to Kenya. Shortly after that, I think within a 6 months period, Don and I had relocated, and when we got relocated, we got engaged, got married within now another 6 months period. So by the time Don and I had left the States, we were very sure of one thing. We were sure we were going to get married. Number 2, we were very sure that we wanted to do ministry together. Got married December 5th, 2009, December 5th. Just before Christmas. And December 5th, we got married and we began our lives together. Within about a year and a half, our firstborn was born, Ariela Otieno. She was born shortly after that. And then a year and a half later, our second born, Michaela Tigi Otieno, was born as well. So we have two beautiful daughters, amazing girls. And yes, and we're doing life with all of them. One of the greatest journeys that I've had as a woman, as a pastor, as a teacher, as a mentor, and as a coach, because one of the greatest things that I am fully aware of is I was put here on purpose, for one, to transform people's lives, number two, to change narratives. And so one of the things that we are very clear about, my husband and I, is to write stories, or to write our stories that will help our communities to be able to have knowledge transfer and impact through writing books that will help them engage. So there's one book that we have written together with my husband. It is When Love Dares. When Love Dares is a story that is our story, our own personal journey. We wrote our story so that then we can be able to help other people understand how to build the bridges of influence and impact. Even if your difference stands out, your ability to come together is greater. And so that's what that story talks about. It's our story of how we were able to dare to love in the midst. We wrote the book after post-election violence. We met and got married after post-election violence. So we write the story of how we met and what we've had to contend with to be married, to stay married, and visualize or have a vision of marriage going forward. The second book that I have written, which I have written as a woman, is called The Diva Spark. The Woman Unleashed. This is a book that I've written with a heart in mind to help women connect with Genesis chapter 1 and Genesis chapter 2. Understanding that when you are put here on earth, you are put here on earth by design. You're not an accident. You're not a mistake. The next book that I'm about to write is a marriage book, and that would coming shortly. So those are the two books that I have written so far. One of the areas that is very near and dear to my heart is mentoring women. Women from the point of changing the narrative of a woman's story. So mentorship is very near and dear to me. First, because I understand from my Christian background is that the younger woman is to be taught by the older woman. So I take that very seriously. Is that what is a curriculum, or what are the things that are important to be able to be passed on to the next generation? Once you help a woman or a man understand who they are, and understand why they were put here on earth, what you will see is that they will be able to deal with their pain, they will be able to process themselves and process what is important and impactful to them. They will be able to process and understand their potential. And the most important thing is that they will be able not just to know their potential, but figure out why they were put here on earth. Here are some life lessons. When I look back in my 48 years in life, when I look back, I'm like, okay, what are my life lessons? I've got so many, I've learned so much. But here are some key lessons that I have learned in the years. I have learned the power of forgiveness. I think that's one, a critical, is understanding that forgiveness starts with me. Forgiveness starts with me forgiving myself. Especially even in terms of when somebody has offended you, there's an offense that also you stay with yourself. So learning to forgive yourself in the midst of your own personal failure. And so forgive yourself and forgive others, and be willing to forgive and actually forget. That is critical. Lesson number 2 is in life, you will fail. Actually, no one should ever tell you that you cannot fail. But one of the most critical lessons I've learned in life is fail, yes, but fail forward. Number 3, understand your season. Remember that seasons are very important. God created the earth with the ability to have different seasons, and those seasons are critical for even life to happen. There has to be life cycles and life transition. Understand the season that you're walking in. That's a major lesson. Number 4, I've just already alluded to it, is that growth. Growth is critical. Are you learning how to grow? One of the greatest things you can do to yourself is give yourself room to grow as a human being. Number 5, take time to know and to connect with your maker. And understand that God put you here on earth for a purpose. And that purpose is that you are a worshiper. That God has a purpose why He put you here. So learn to always surrender to God. Number 6, be willing to be, no man is an island. Be willing to actually learn from others. Where is your team? I usually say there are men and women who are going to come alongside you that will catapult you to your next season, that will teach you the lesson for next week. Who's your team? Identify your team and your teammates. One of my life mantras or my life tagline is be more. Be more. And it's just as simple as that. Be more. Because if you understand who God is, He says, He tells us that I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. I can do all things. I believe that when I understand who I am, I will be more. I will give more. I will see more, and I will give more and be more to society.